Ah, yes, the northern Badlands, or just the Badlands. Alright, Badlands Radio.
Good morning, Wasteland. You are listening to Prosperity Radio. The time is 14:45 and the weather is still irradiated. Let any caravans know that we're still open to trade. If you are a raider, you can eat a dick.
One of our first secrets is actually here. You actually use your mount to get on top of that door. ZDOOM City laser tag. So this thing does nothing. As its name would suggest, it's a laser tag rifle. Now, if I want to get to town, there's Prosperity. So this guy's an animal handler. Beastmaster. Ah, that's a fine creature you have there. A racer, is she? She looks exceptionally healthy and well-built. Do you know what this thing is? Indeed I do. Pit Fiend Matriarch. About 8 or 9 years old, I'd wager. She's a fine specimen. Perhaps you would have some luck in the races here, if you aren't worried about the two of you getting hurt. It is quite a violent sport. Races. Tell me more about pit fiends. Certainly. What would you like to know about these creatures? What exactly is a matriarch? A female of breeding age. As you can see, they can reach an impressive size, far more powerful than the smaller males. However, they have a much more submissive temperament in general. That is, of course, unless you threaten their pups. They are still tricky, however. You must have a special bond indeed for this one to tolerate your presence so. What do you use them for? Here, we often use them as guards or the races. Smaller males are more aggressive but prone to behavior issues. The larger females are easier to work with, and can even run carrying a man at full speed. I myself often buy or breed promising specimens. I'm hoping to start my own kennel someday. You breed them? I do indeed, especially a female of potential. I would even offer to buy yours, should you be willing to sell. I'd like to see her potential before I offer more, however. I'd be prepared to offer $150 for her. She will have a good home here, especially at her age. Tell me more about the races. They're held on the southwest side. Many of us volunteered, converting the old car park into a dedicated racetrack. See the organizer if you wish to bet on a race or take part in your own. Your own matriarch looks like she would make an excellent racer. Tell me more about the place. This is Prosperity, the finest town for miles around, I promise you. Almost anything you need can be found here, for which we receive many traders from such places as Junction, New Nashville, sometimes even as far as Chicago. Barren is fair and life here is good, despite the recent difficulties. Baron? The Water Baron, as he's known here. Very thoughtful and intelligent man. They say that he alone devised and organized our impressive town you see before you. Though, sadly, I haven't yet had the pleasure of speaking to him. He lives in Uptown, which is off limits to travelers. What difficulties? I believe you should ask the sheriff if you wish to know more. We've been suffering from an infestation of raiders within our territory, as well as the recent drought. We will recover. Life has been hard these past weeks. I'm looking for information. You got a minute? Is there any good places to trade around here? We have an adequate market. though you'll have to wait for a caravan if you wish to trade in weapons or ammunition. We have a strict law against the sale of such items within the town grounds. Most other items you should find available inside. I'm looking for a motorcycle. A red one. I could not say for certain. I know a great many vehicles have been coming and going, mostly towards the scrapyard to the east. Be aware, however, for there is a heavy bandit presence there. Now, I'm going to do the race just to get it out of the way. Now, this guy is going to give us a heads up when we go into town. Whoa, hold up, scavenger. Not so fast. I gotta ask you a few questions before you can come in. What is it? Nothing crazy, but I gotta ask you. Have you had any dealings with a gang called the Roamers? Or any other raider gang? Never heard of them. Good answer. Okay, last question. What is your business here? Who are the Roamers? A bunch of thieves, murderers, and carjackers. Stay away from them. But, you didn't answer my question. They steal vehicles. I need to find them. What? You're looking for them? He looks around, clearly uncertain about this. May I ask why? They stole something of mine. Huh. That's so. Sounds like them, all right, he mutters. Bunch of pirates. Huh? What was it they stole? How did they get it? My motorcycle. They sold me out to the cannibals. Mutants working with raiders? Man, that's a good old... Wait, he notices your expression. You're not joking. I think you better tell the sheriff about this. This sounds bad. This isn't a joke, right? Do I look like I'm fucking joking? Fuck, I guess not. Head on through and turn right. First building on the right. Just watch your temper. This is the wrong time to make a bad first impression. Got it? No problem. Can I ask you something first? Who's in charge here? That'll be the water baron. He basically put this town together. But he's not available to see traders or travelers. He stays in Hightown and he's always real busy. If you have any problems, go see the sheriff. He runs pretty much everything in Lowtown. I need to get to the north. Any roads still open? The north? Not much up that way, except the mountains. There's a road that's pretty much intact, but that gate stays closed until the mutants have moved on. A whole mess of them have been moving through the area. We've been lucky so far, and have only encountered stragglers, but we're trying not to get the attention of the larger group. Can you tell me about the town? Sure. Used to be an old water cleaning plant. We fixed it up and got it mostly running again. This side is Lowtown. The market is on the east side, farms and bar are on the south side. While you're visiting, you're restricted to this side. The gate to Hightown is opposite the market, but access is only for guards and their families. Any good scavenging spots around here? That's not really my business. Oh, I almost forgot to mention. There's some other scavengers in town. Try their store over on the south side. If they aren't there, they'll be over in the bar, right next door. I bet they'll know more about all that stuff. Talk to Silver, though. He's the one who runs the store. And the other four are real weirdos. So, just like Michonne's Circle, we gotta talk to a bunch of people to get our quests. The heavily muscled man's eyes peer at you from underneath an old sheriff's hat. Can I help you, scavenger? Are you the sheriff here? Or... No, that seems offensive. What is this place? This is the jail, son, and I'm the local sheriff. While we're on the subject, I don't believe we've met. What's your name? Just a scavenger. I came from a city to the south. From the city? You mean Atlanta? Huh. Been a while since we had any visitors. How are things there? Which station are you from? It's not great. I traveled there from the wall. Oh, you come from the wall. Good to finally hear from you guys. How's the place these days? I heard there was a lot of commotion happening up there the last few days. Don't suppose you know anything about that? They were attacked. I don't know by who. I was out of town at the time. Huh. That doesn't sound great. But your story does add up with some of the things I've been hearing. I appreciate you being straight with me. The name is Myers, by the way. Now, what can I do for you? What's been happening here? There's quite a lot going on these days. We've had raiders squatting in our scrapyard, a possible mutant infestation, failing crops, and we picked up some shady drifter from down south. Definitely been a busy week. Mutant infestation? Yep. We've been having a lot of issues with keeping our heads down, trying to avoid attention from the mutants moving through the area. Patch, our mechanic, tells me that he's pretty sure they've managed to find a way into our underground, though. Talk to him if you want to help him out. He can usually be found in his workshop or the electrical build. Failing crops? Yeah, they say the soil here isn't so great. Something about there being lots of chemicals or metal in the ground. You'll have to talk with Kyle, one of the farmers, if you want to know more. Apparently the Baron has a plan in place, but it's not my place to talk about that. Tell me about the raiders. You'll find them east of here. I don't know who they're supposed to be, but they claim to be descended from the old highway police that used to roam these parts. Yeah, call themselves roamers. They've occupied the junkyard and have made demands to let us have access to the town, but so far we've refused. I think they might have my bike. Probably. They've got quite a fleet of vehicles already. They've been snatching up any half-intact ones they can find. God only knows where they get all the gasoline for those things. Sorry, Scavenger, but I don't think you'll be getting your bike back anytime soon. Why haven't you taken them out? Phew! Well, we got two problems there. This isn't some normal gang, it's a small army. Their leader is smart. Never a good thing for a raider to have. And they have a ton of heavy weaponry and vehicles. We can't match that. The other issue is any fighting is likely to draw the mutants, more mutants to the region. So we're stuck in a stalemate, both waiting out the siege, both hoping the other will crack and have to give in first. Do you need some help dealing with them? Right now? No. Besides the fact that you'd be taking them on yourself, any fight is likely to make a hell of a noise. We can't risk bringing more attention to ourselves. Not when there are thousands of mutants crawling all over the mountains. Don't worry, Baron has a plan. Forget it. I need some information. What can you tell me about your town? Oh, sure, Prosperity is probably the biggest town you'll find around here. A lot of that comes down to what we are. We have the ability to create fresh water in large quantities. This has allowed us to support quite a few settlers, as well as keep a steady flow of trade. The Baron, our leader, set this all up a few years ago. Tell me more about the Baron. He's a mysterious character, I'll say that. I've known him a few years now, and I still don't know where exactly he came from. Some rich folk bunker to the north somewhere. Anyway, you're not likely to see him this side of Uptown. He prefers to keep to himself, working on some big project or another. Don't worry about it. This side of the walls, I run the show. He grins. Any chance I could beat him? Well, the Baron doesn't see anyone without an appointment. He's very busy, and Uptown is only open to our most respectable personages. Prove we can trust you, and I might consider asking him for a minute of his time for you. Let me ask you about something else. Drifter, who is he? I don't know. Bella says he's a traitor. Tried selling guns at the market. That dumbass. Baron hates that shit. Says he's from the wall, too, but doesn't want to talk about it for some reason. Locked him up until he feels like being more talkative and less of an asshole. Why does the Baron not like guns? Oh, he doesn't hate them. Let's look at how many of my boys are packing. And if the town is attacked, every man, woman, and dog can take a trip to the armory and grab something to fight with. We just believe that the ordinary workman does not need to be spending his average day armed. That goes for ammunition, too. As an out-of-towner, we'll make an exception for you. You can openly bear your weapons, but the sale or purchase of any firearm or ammunition is punishable by immediate exile. So don't do it. From the wall? Can I see him? Huh. I guess. Maybe you get more out of him. Just don't try anything weird. My boy over there will be watching you. turns out you're his accomplice or something, I swear to God. So, look for the bike, find a way north. Find plant samples. Here's the thing, I've talked to the farmer. He's got a very limited chain of dialogue. I don't know if that wasn't implemented or I'm just picking the wrong thing right out the gate. Now, an early investment in scrap, I suggest going to the tailor, because, bizarrely, for his chosen career, you can actually get pouches and a bandolier that expands your ammo capacity for 2 of your 8 or whatever weapons. The stocky man is busy cutting a piece of leather into strips. Ah, howdy. Haven't seen you guys around here lately, and I haven't seen you before either. Sure look like a fan of leather goods. What can I make for you? Us guys? Who do you mean? You not with those other scavenger folk? My apologies. They live just outside the market, by the farms on to the south. If you wanted to meet them, pretty sure they've picked this area clean of junk, though. No, that's another comma that I thought was a period. If you're looking for a new claim, though, he chuckles. Tell me about the other scavengers. Talk to Silver. He's the one running their little pawn shop. The others, well, let's just say their staircases don't go all the way to the top, if you catch my meaning. Anyway, do you want to buy something or just flap gums? What's it like living here? Hard. A lot harder than it usually is these days. But the Baron runs this place like a master. There are good people here. You won't find many towns like Prosperity. Real diamond in the rough. The Baron. Tell me about him. Huh. Very intelligent man. Very private man. I've lived here for a couple of years now. Only spoken to him once. I don't know where he got all that know-how, but I reckon he's running from someplace somewhere that didn't have a happy ending. Call it a hunch, but enough. I ain't the kind to be gossiping about my neighbors. What is it that you wanted, son? Get it. So what sort of problems? He's silent for a moment. A lot of problems. I don't want to bother a newcomer with. Life in the Badlands has never been easy. Some days it feels like you have to rip life from the very earth just to survive it. We'll survive. You can count on it. But the bigger this place gets, the more mouths we have to feed. And all the more work to feed them. Let's change the subject. Do you make all this stuff yourself? Of course. My father taught me his trade. And his pa taught him. It's definitely helped keep my roof over my head for the last few years, let me tell you. A lot less dangerous than being a guard or a scav. I don't only have to worry about my own knives. How do you make it? Huh. You really want to know how? Hope you are on the squeamish side. If you want to make a set of leather, you'll need the skin of an animal. Its brains, something to hang the skin on, and a good knife. Really want to hear this, son? I'll just end up talking your ear off. How do you prepare the skin? Well, first you trim off all the damaged or unneeded parts. That includes any flesh. I usually soak it in water for a few days if I can get hot water, but you can also use chemicals too. This will loosen the hair and let you scrape off the membrane of the hide. You have to be really careful here not to cut the hide itself though. Then you can brain it. Brain it? Well, they say every animal has enough brain to tan its own hide. This is what tans the leather to give it that toughness. It's also what gets some folk a little squeamish. You soak the brains with a few gallons of hot water and a little oil. You'll get this goopy brain sludge, which you use to soak the hide in overnight. That's the last part before you wring it out a few times. Stretch it with some poles and smoke it over a stove or a fire pit. How do you prepare the skin? Nope, we did that one. Think you could teach me? You? You're a bit old to be my apprentice, son. I'd have to see how you handle a blade. Not difficult to learn. The hardest part is the skinning. Pretty easy to tear the hide if you aren't careful. Serious, come back when you run out of things to do. I can't pay you, but you're welcome to sell anything you make when you're finished. Can you make something for me? What will it be? I can make just about anything, if you're willing to wait. If you need armor, I have some already. But if it's boots or clothes, you'll have to wait a few days. If you need new bags or bandoliers, those don't take too long, though. Oh, and before you ask, no, it doesn't come in black. I sell it as you see it. So, we'll start with the bandoliers. Bandoliers. I could always use more ammo. Sure. Always handy being able to carry more lead. Well, you got a choice. I can make either a bandolier for loose bullets, or a side pouch for larger things like spare magazines or grenades. Or both. I got enough leather right now, if you can afford it. How much would a bandolier cost? I can make you one right now for about 50 bucks. Just need to decide what ammo you want me to size it for. Needs to be a tight fit or you'll be dropping your stuff everywhere. It can fit for loose 45s, shotgun shells, or musket slugs. Before you ask, no, I do not accept bullets for trade. Sound good? Well, you can't accept bullets. You're not allowed to trade ammunition in the market. 50 bucks. Okay, I'm ready to choose. So, musket slugs is the same ammo used by the pig. So we're going to make it for musket slugs so we can carry more of those, because your max ammo for those is a bit limited. So, slug, yep, it's up to 90. If I'm reading my ammo counters correct. The work takes just short of an hour. The quality looks exceptional. There you go. Try this on. Shouldn't be too tight. Could give you a little more firepower to hand. Now, will you be needing anything else? Can you make another one? Side pouch. That'll cost 50 bucks, cash or scrap. No bullets. I'll make one up for you right now, won't take long. It'd be good for carrying extra pistol magazines, rifle mags, grenades, pipe bombs, or even gas cylinders. Pick one, though. You don't want to mix ammo in the same pouch. You should only use one of these, because they can get pretty heavy. Sounds good? Now, last time I did this, as part of the rehearsal, I went for 5.56 mags, because your ammo for that does cap out pretty low. However, I never really had enough 5.56 ammo to max it out. Pipe bombs, on the other hand, I ended up needing a lot more of, so this time around, I think I'm gonna go pipe bombs. There you go. Try this on. Shouldn't be too tight. Should give you a little more firepower to hand. Is there anything you need finding? Me? No, not right now. I try to make my own tools when I can. A well-tooled knife can last for years. If you want me to make something, though, I'm happy enough to take scrap for trade. So, ammunition carrying is extended. Funny how we can't buy ammo, but we can buy stuff that extends our ammo. This guy's allegedly willing to sell ammo. I haven't actually followed that. Okay, so we also need to talk to the doctor, because the finalizing aspects of the quest require you to have a conversation with the doctor, but the dialogue options might be off-putting. The doc doesn't even look up from her notes. If it's serious, take a seat and I'll get to you as soon as I can. If it's not, get out and come back when you grow a pair. Try not to go near the other patients. So yeah, you basically have to say you need a doc, even if you don't, because I didn't, which is why I completely missed this dialogue option. Right, I can take a look at you, but if it just needs self-care, I will not carry out any treatment. I can only spare the time for emergencies. My other patients require constant attention. What's wrong with the other patients? Are they contagious? At this stage, I don't think so. Do you know what a gas bag is? I believe they have been infected by ingesting spores. I've seen this before, but never treated it myself. Thankfully, the infection is extremely minor. A larger dose would likely have been fatal, and we'd be dealing with an outbreak of things. Ingesting spores? Yes. Normally, gas bags infect their hosts by killing them and covering their corpse in spores. The immune system is usually pretty good at fighting off a surface infection. But from what these men have said, they were drinking from an unpurified source which was somehow contaminated. Yes, I tried to find out where they got it, but they refused to answer. Water is precious here. How would an outbreak occur? It doesn't take much. One corpse with enough spores can grow into full gas bags within a few hours. If you get enough spores in one place, they can even group together into other forms. I've heard of some towns losing half their population before they can bring it under control. Fire helps. A lot. Doesn't bring back the dead, of course. How would you treat that? I'm not sure. This isn't something I have got much material on. These things didn't exist when all my medical books were written. But if I can collect some fresh spore samples, I can perhaps create something to reverse or at least control it. We have a lot of chemicals here, thankfully. I'll take a look around and see what I find. That would be helpful. Your best bet is probably the tunnels, since most of our water comes through there. I doubt we'll get anything useful out of these guys now. Oh, and be careful if you find any spores. I don't want to see you get infected as well. Alright, I'll come back later. So that critical bit of dialogue out of the way. Who else do we have to talk to? We have Silver. First, another secret. This one took me way longer to find than it should have. Go from the blacksmith's up towards the clothes, out here, and then just creep in this window. Splunk. Now where am I? So there's the sheriff's. We're not going to talk to the other survivor from the wall yet. Yeah, there's an information broker. Kind of pointless, especially because he requires scrap to tell you anything. Yeah, right now I want to converse with Silver, the other scaver. Get another mission objective. I gotta find out where the scaver haunt is, though. More uptown. I mean, this is a lot more open than the Undercity at Michonne Circle or Michonne Station, or however it's meant to be referred. However... there you are, Silver. Gas mask and glowing eyes. That's a scaver, alright. A scavenger stands before you. He nods at you, his eyes fixed on yours. You're new. I don't think we've met. Name's Silver. Now, are you the fucking crazy kind of scav, or the normal kind? Well, if I was crazy, how would I know? Well, you seem to have some rudimental, logical thinking still, so I guess you're still human, in a sense. Sorry, but I like to know where I stand with people when I meet them. I don't really like speaking to the crazy ones. Crazy ones? You mean scavengers? Yeah, when you've been in the business a while, something changes in you. Heard a rumor about one individual, actually from around here. He's killed his way through... Through? Oh, there's a typo. Entire gangs and muty nests, but no one knows his name. All they say is that he kills alone, whatever that means. Interesting. I have met a few odd characters. Yeah, you do hear some stories. I heard a story that all the way over on the West Coast, they use toilet paper for money now. Oh, I need a minute to process that. Okay, yeah. And they fight over booze, not gas or ammo. Weird world we live in sometimes. Any traders here you would recommend? The leather worker is decent, if you need clothes. Junk dealer is overpriced and run by a snake. The armory, if you can get into Uptown, is run by a fascist. Dock and the bar are okay. Not great, just okay. Do what I do and wait for a caravan to trade anything expensive. Any good claims around here? Not really. The scrapyard is pretty bare apart from car parts, and you'd have to get rid of the raiders in there. Most of the old buildings are empty now. We've stripped out most of the good stuff already. So that just leaves the old reactor site or the dome. Don't know if you've seen those yet. What is the Dome? Dome used to be the old nature reserve. Yes. You can see it from some of the hills around here. Big fuck-off glass shell. I couldn't tell you how much more about it, though. Only one guy has ever come back from there alive. From what I heard, he didn't live long, raving about plants coming alive and trying to eat him. Who knows what happened to him? It looked like he had an infection of some kind. I guess he picked up something from the tunnels or the dome itself, wandered off into the tunnels after that, and disappeared. Watch yourself around the locals, though. A few of them got sick with something similar. Ask the doc, she dealt with the guy recently. I see. Okay, no, that's not... I wanted... good claims. The actor's site? One of our claims. Have you been to the north yet? You can get there by taking the road west of town. Then taking the first left, and left again. There's an old, I guess, power plant, or nuclear waste site. We found a few hazard suits while we were there. Best one we kept, which is the one I sold to Danny. That sounds dangerous. Yep. Pretty much a full hot zone. It's hard finding anything up that way that isn't contaminated. Anyway, it's a free claim. Locals tried sending some people up there once, and they all got sick. It's like these people don't know what Geiger counters are for. I might check that place out. Anything good left? Maybe. From what I can remember, we only checked out the turbines room and some of the offices. Might still be some stuff in the old reactor. You serious about going up there? For real? Sure, sounds fun. Seem like you know what you're doing? Follow me. Can't talk here. Alright. Silver's pathfinding's being a little... Yeah, go into your corner, Silver. There we go. Sorry, I just don't trust the locals around here not to overhear and get any bright ideas. The fact is, I need some help. And if you're heading up to the reactor site anyway, seems like you'd be able to have a look around up there for my friends. Exactly is the problem. My friends. We haven't been speaking much lately. I mean, we haven't been speaking much for weeks, but I haven't seen them for days now. I need someone to head up to the reactor site and see if they're still there. Don't try talking to them. Just come back and tell me. If they're alive or dead. Think they got into trouble? Maybe. Or maybe they just left town and dumped me here with all this stuff. What I'm trying to say is that if they aren't dead yet, they will be. I'm not sitting here all day watching this shop just so that they can find a score and split it between themselves. I'm sick of being the face all the time. What do you need me to do? Okay, so no, we already did that one. Why can't you look for them yourself? I would, but the minute I leave, I've got a feeling this place will be stripped bare by the time I come back. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but we aren't really popular among these people. Of course, if my friends have ditched me, this place can rot. Rather that than get stuck here. What's in it for me? If you can find them, or you search the whole place and they aren't there, that'll be good enough for me. And I'll make it worth your time and scrap, ammo or meds. Your choice. I'll sell their stashes if I need to. Doesn't bother me at this point. I can take a look. I'm heading up there anyway. I appreciate it. Can't do it, or don't have the time, I'll do it eventually. Just not quite ready to lose this store. You'll obviously know them when you see them, I would presume. I'll be here if you want to ask anything about this place or need anything, even a bit of advice. As thanks. I have a question about a job. Okay. Have you ever met the Baron? Briefly, he's a coward. Hides behind his wall and doesn't engage with the community. We'll bite him in the ass one day. He knows his shit when it comes to business. I have a feeling he came from some pre-war government remnants, or some kind of institution. This town wouldn't be half as successful without him. not easy to survive out here. How did this place get started? From what I've heard, the Baron turned up one day with a bunch of laborers, technicians, and guards, and just pulled the place up from the ruins. I don't know where he got that kind of support from, or what story he told to get them to follow him, but it worked. Now Prosperity is the most viable town in the whole region. I guess the American dream ain't so dead after all. Where are you from, Silver? Me? From up north, near Chicago, or what used to be Chicago. I used to run protection for caravans, until I got tired of losing gangs and mutants. Been hoping to start a business, but I'm not sure these clowns are ready for that. Unless you look like them and talk like them, these people will never really accept you. Just another fact of life out here. Never mind. Can you describe your friends? Are you serious? They're scavengers. There's Coil, the tall one. Masher, the big one. Razor's the one with the fucked up teeth. And Whisper, who's mute. But he's always playing that fucking harmonica. Honestly, if you haven't found them, they either aren't there or you're blind.